Hi guys, this is Ashleigh, personal trainer and weight loss coach. Today I want to talk to you about what are you doing wrong? I hear this a lot from people that, I'm eating healthy, I'm working out, I'm drinking water, I'm doing all the things that you always hear to do, but I'm hitting a plateau, I'm not losing weight, and they want to know, what am I doing wrong? So we're going to talk about 3 very common obstacles or challenges that people have to sometimes fight through and deal with when they're on their weight loss journey. These particular 3 that I'm going to talk about today are: if you're already feeling like you're doing everything right, chances are if you're exercising but you're only going to the gym once a week or once a month, that may not be enough. But if you're really seriously doing everything, you're doing workouts 3 to 5 times a week, you're eating healthy 7 days a week, you're not binging, you're staying on track, you're doing the right stuff, then these are probably 3 things that could be tripping you up, holding you back. So we're going to talk about that. But first I want to make sure that you definitely hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, guys. I put out content or new videos every Tuesday and Friday. I fell off track for a little while there, but I'm back on track now. So look forward to some new videos to help you with your weight loss journey. But let's talk about these 3 different things that I find are typically the most common areas that people struggle with, they have challenges with, they overlook, they think they're doing everything right, and they're probably missing it on these 3 things. And I'm going to tell you now, before I tell you, you're not going to like them, you're not going to like me for telling you these things, but it's just true. It's still true. And to let you know that I'm preaching to the choir here, I'm preaching to myself as well, that this goes for anyone, that these are just common mistakes that everyone makes, that I too am guilty of. So let's get right into it with number 1. The first common mistake people make if they're trying to lose weight and it's not moving, they hit a plateau, they're probably doing too much of the right thing. They're probably eating too much healthy foods. So I know that might sound counterintuitive or doesn't make sense, but you can do too much of the right thing. Just because you changed your diet from eating junk food, 2-3 times a week, to now you're eating really, really clean, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to lose weight. If you're eating, so much of the healthy stuff. For example's sake, like avocados, people really talk about that in the health world, right? You see it on Instagram, avocado toast, avocado everything, turn avocado into chocolate, like it's everywhere. But avocados are really high in calories. If you're eating, 2-3 avocados a day, that can easily be like 600 calories. They're just really high calorie foods, and yes, they do have good healthy omegas and they're good for your skin and for so many things, but you can overdo it. And at the end of the day, if you're eating too many calories and you're not burning them off, you will gain weight. It's the same basic formula that it's always been, and it doesn't matter if it's a healthy food that's, high in calories, or if it's a junk food that's high in calories. Your body's going to react pretty much the same way, pretty much. At least if you're eating, the healthy stuff, you're getting nutritional benefit out of it, but you won't really see the scale move if you're still burning not enough calories. That's just what it boils down to. So be careful of the foods that you're eating, even the healthy ones, and be really mindful of high calorie foods. So like I gave the example of avocados, another easy one is nuts. I love nuts, all the nuts, cashews, almonds, peanuts, whatever. But if you eat a handful of those, easily like 150, 200 calories, very easily just for a handful. And they're kind of like chips. You don't just eat like one handful. You just kind of keep going and going and going, and then before you know it, you've eaten half the container of nuts, and that's probably like 1,000 calories for real. You may not think that like the jar of peanuts, eating a third of it is going to be that many calories, but it really is. Like, you could have just blown through 600 calories on a snack. So you have to be very mindful of that. So if you're having some struggles with this, you need to probably find low calorie, highly nutritious foods. So things like broccoli, lettuce, typically the green things, are very low in calories, but very nutritious and good for you and full of fiber and healthy things. And you can eat a good amount of that because it's low calorie. Watermelon's fairly low calorie. There are certain fruits that are lower, but if you're gonna eat like the entire bunch of bananas, that's going to mess up your weight loss plan because they're a little bit higher in calories, higher in sugar. So you have to do everything in moderation, even your healthy stuff. The second thing that typically trips people up is they need to be mindful of the little things. If you are doing a food journal or you're tracking what you're eating, you're probably writing everything down and you're going, I don't get it, Ashleigh, I'm looking at this and my diet is like flawless, everything's good. Most likely you're forgetting some of the little things. Food can change depending on how you prepare it. So if you have chicken for dinner, but you bake it in the oven, that's one thing. If you pan sear it, that's different. If you're going to use oil in the pan and kind of give it a fry, that's different. If you're going to deep fry it, of course, that's different. If you steam it or like boil the chicken, that's going to be different. There's just a lot of things that go into how you prepare the food that can affect how many calories it is. And again, this is why we're saying it's the little things, because these are minuscule differences. Maybe they account for 100 to 200 calories of difference, but that does add up. If it's a little bit here, a little bit there, it makes a difference. A really easy example to see this with is eggs. How you prepare your eggs can greatly change how many calories you're taking in when you eat them. If you're doing an omelet and you're going to put a little bit of cream or milk to help it be more fluffy, you're going to put maybe some onions and bell peppers and tomatoes and spinach, and you're making like a veggie omelet. Maybe you put cheese on it or something. You are just tacking on the calories, and then when you put it in the pan to cook that omelet, you don't want it to stick, of course. It's an omelet, so you're going to put oil on the pan, or maybe you put butter on the pan. All those things are going to factor into how many calories the egg is. So if you go into your tracking app and you just log 2 eggs, you're missing a whole lot going on there that could be part of why you think you're in your target calorie goal area, but you're really not. You're maybe way off. So pay attention to those little things. It can be bothersome, but again, if you think you're doing everything right, then we have to scrutinize and look at the little details. Another thing could be, what you're drinking, and I'm going to do that as another point, but paying attention to what's in your drinks is more important. Are you adding sugar to teas and coffees? Are you drinking a lot of juices that are really sweet? Just different things like that. Again, just the little things. Are you having too much sodium in your diet? Are you eating a lot of frozen dinners or foods that are prepackaged, pre-prepared, and they may have a lot of sodium? That could be greatly affecting your weight loss, especially if you're not drinking out enough water to regulate that. So you need to be mindful of those little details, and that does get tedious and it's frustrating and you don't want to do it, and I understand that. I don't want to do it either. But there comes a certain point, I think, in everyone's weight loss journey where they feel like, I'm doing everything I can. I'm giving this my blood, my sweat, and my tears, and I'm not getting the progress I want. And then you kind of have to make that decision. Are you ready to step up your game and take it to another level so that you can press through this difficult point? Are you going to stay here just doing the same stuff, making no progress? Or a lot of times this is where people will quit and they'll start backsliding and say, this is too hard. I'm just going to go back to how I used to eat. I'm going to take a week off from the gym because I don't feel like it. And they start to fall back. So if you're going to push through and you're going to get to the goal, even though it's hard, you have to step up your game. So you're gonna have to pay attention to those little things, your sodium content, your sugar content, the calories that are in the things you're eating, all these little details, how you're cooking the food. Are you frying it, pan searing it, baking it, factoring all that stuff in? Are you putting butter on the toast? Are you putting jam on the toast? Did you only track, I had a piece of bread, but you didn't track that you put things on it, that you put an avocado on it? Paying attention to those little details are going to make a difference. As annoying as it is, it's just something you have to do. The third one that gets people all the time are drinks. And that includes alcohol, caffeine, and water. So all of those could be a problem for you if you're having trouble with your weight loss goals, you can't figure out what's going on. If you are drinking alcohol, that can really mess up the entire process of losing weight. People don't like to hear that, but it is true. Basically, your body cannot metabolize alcohol. It does not recognize it as a food. It's like you basically ate like plastic or something. It doesn't know what to do. Your body eats it and goes, this isn't really a carb, this isn't really a fat, this isn't really a protein. What is this? And what happens is that process of trying to deal with it slows down your whole metabolism. And if you know what we've been working towards with our weight loss goals, then you know the last thing we want to do is slow down our metabolism. We are trying to get that thing going as hard as it can, burning as much as we can. That's really the key to helping us lose the weight, keep it off, get the progress. And alcohol can be standing in your way. And it's not just the calories that are in the alcohol, the sugar that's in the alcohol. Because I have clients ask me about that a lot, like, hey, I'm going out with my friends this weekend. What kind of drinks are good to have? And yes, there are drinks that are better than others, so definitely. Anytime you're getting, the frozen daiquiris, the margaritas, the heavily mixed frozen stuff, that's going to have a lot more sugar, a lot more calories than something a lot more simple. But still, either way, any kind of alcohol is going to slow down your metabolism at the end of the day. That's what alcohol does. So it's not helping you. If you can eliminate it, that would be best for your weight loss goals. If you're really feeling stuck, like you're not getting the progress you want, you might want to try it. Just try it for like a week. Take out any alcoholic drinks, maybe 2 weeks. Cut it out and just see, does the scale move? Does that help? I'm willing to bet it helps. If you have a scale that will track your body fat percentage, your muscle percentage, your visceral fat, and you are working on losing weight, give it some time. It takes time to change. A lot of changes aren't overnight, but I have noticed for clients that stop drinking for some time, maybe a couple months, their visceral fat numbers will drop dramatically. And just for those of you that don't know, your visceral fat, I call it the fat you can't pinch. Okay, so it's not on the surface level. It's the fat deeper around your organs, things like that. But that can cause a lot of people that have a beer belly typically have a high visceral fat. If you cut down on the drinking, cut it out, you'll lose a lot of that visceral fat. You'll get a lot more leaner appearance in the stomach. So good tip, right? Good. It's definitely worth it to try to cut it out. Okay. So moving on from that point, caffeine. So that applies to teas, coffees, energy drinks, whatever. Caffeine dehydrates you. So, and caffeine's a tricky one because a lot of times people will recommend caffeine when you're losing weight because it does kind of help you boost the metabolism a little bit. It kind of gives you a little bit more of a fat burn. I find that amount of fat burn, let's say, from just having your regular coffee, even if it's an espresso, it's still pretty minuscule. It's not like you're going to get a 6-pack because you drank 6 espressos today. It's not like that. So what you're doing when you're drinking the caffeine, though, is you're dehydrating yourself, and that's the last thing we want to do. We want to be very hydrated while we try to lose this weight. So I would pull back on your caffeine and choose better choices of caffeine if you're going to go for it. So, if you're going to do, you need that boost, maybe try switching to green tea instead of doing, large coffees, things like that. Maybe try a matcha tea, because at least then with the green tea, you're kind of getting like a 2-in-1. You're getting the ECCG, the fat burning complex that's in green tea, and you're getting the caffeine, so you're kind of getting a double whammy for fat burn, but it's also water-based, so it's not so bad, I guess. But being mindful of your caffeine intake, because some people can really be messing it up in this area, having a frappuccino, having their caramel macchiato every day, whatever it is. And a lot of caffeinated drinks also, it's very easy to sneak in sugar and calories. A lot of people put cream in their tea and their coffee, sugar, and what you're thinking, is, oh, coffee's only 10 calories. Well, not when you add the amount of sugar and cream and all the stuff that people sometimes put in it. Then it's no longer a 10-calorie drink. So be mindful of that. And watch your caffeine intake as well. Lastly, water. I think we all know we need to be drinking enough water. So definitely make sure that you're getting the appropriate amount of ounces, and that is half of your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need to be drinking 100 ounces. If you weigh 150 pounds, then you need half of that. So whatever it is, you need half your body weight in ounces. Now the tricky part is that is like a bare minimum to survive, to be hydrated, to be healthy. Like you check mark, you met it. I would say drink even more than that because you're sweating, you're working out. you're living life. Like I live in Houston, it's just hot and humid, so we naturally kind of sweat a little bit more, even if we're not doing anything because it's just hot here. So you're losing water all the time. So you need to replenish it and put it back in. So you need to do a little bit more than half your body weight in ounces. But if you do this, it's really going to help with bloating in the stomach, water weight, water retention. It's really going to help, and you really can see the scale actually move just from drinking enough water, and your body needs it. You're gonna feel better. You might find you don't need as much caffeine when you're drinking enough water, because you will feel a little bit more energized, a little more alert. You won't have the high that you get from like an energy drink, but you may feel a little more alert naturally. And that's a very common thing when someone is actually getting the hydration they need, their blood is circulating better, getting more oxygen to their muscles, to their brain, and they're more awake, they feel better. So it's good for you all around. So these are my top 3 things that you can change if you are experiencing a plateau, you are stuck, not losing weight, having a hard time. These are definitely 3 things that you can change to overcome those kinds of obstacles. And I know if you make those changes, it will definitely help. If you have questions about it, go ahead and comment below and let me know. If you have some ideas for topics you want to hear more about, things you want to learn about, definitely leave me a comment, because I would love to share more information with you, especially if it's something you're interested in. Anything health related, weight loss related, fitness, anything in that kind of realm is up for talk. Definitely I would love to make more videos that are things you guys really want to learn about. So let me know, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel, guys. And as always, I want to thank each of you for watching. Thanks so much.